Hey everybody, my name is Flurpisher and welcome back to another episode of Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. In the last episode, we have finished our investigation time where we found out pretty much everything we could find out about the crime scenes. And we have started off with the class trial. We're trying to convince everyone that Hiro is not the killer. And well, I'm pretty suspicious of Celeste right now because he's acting a bit strange.
That was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo-Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Oh right, yes, I know what you're talking about. If I look at how the body was moved, it will be clear why the person in the suit couldn't have done it. What does he mean by that? Wait, your argument. Yes, there was one flaw in the costume. Right.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over. Then you could push the dolly.
Oh, I pressed the wrong button, damn it.
So the killer just crouched down and carted the body off to the repository.
If you accept everything we just said, then you must realize that whoever was in the suit couldn't possibly be the culprit.
Sorry, I don't think I realize anything.
No,
As
because
we know, Taka was killed in the equipment
you
room.
cannot bend down
And from there,
with the
body was
costume on.
moved to the repository.
Yeah, then loaded
I just pressed the wrong button.
That the dolly doesn't.
Well, yeah, but even without a hand, all you'd have to do is bend over.
No, it's wrong.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
I'm glad there's a bed here. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
There's actually no chance that the costume was taken off just to move the body because you cannot take it off by yourself.
I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help? Why don't you make something that you can't take off by yourself? I didn't make the stupid freaking thing. There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. You don't really have a choice. Let's open.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right!
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took?
It is totally you, isn't it?
You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
Just now, right.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it before we rush to a verdict. Shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Agreed.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
Oh no, not my Wi-Fi network connection.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi.
But how did you take that picture? Because isn't that the door of the rec room?
We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
What's wrong? I saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the scare, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
and then...
Yeah? What was that? God, they came from downstairs. It must have been... Hifumi is in the nurse office. Yeah, that's right. She was with us. I mean, I am suspicious of you, but how was Hifumi killed? That is a bit odd. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
At that point, we decided to divide up into two groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising.
Yeah, his body disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
We don't need a flashback for everything that has happened.
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation.
Yeah, that might help, just trying to simplify
And from
everything.
there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Yes, I have to find him no matter what. Alright. I'm tired.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
No.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
They weren't.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi.
Well, the
Or
Monogama
perhaps
Vault
it
never
was
mentioned
after?
something about a time, so
We
I
already
think
know
this is a
what order
flashback.
they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because
I
of
think-
the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed
God damn
with
it.
Justice Hammer 3,
While Taka's death...
See? So it's obvious Taka came...
So, I wonder if, or perhaps it was after.
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's
for
true
fuck's
that
sake.
Hifumi was
Killed with while Taka's death...
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, I wonder if, or perhaps it was.
We already know what order they were killed. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
No!
Right, I was right. Good.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. There's something that relates to what time he must have died. It's his watch. You're really taking the long word, eh? Alright. Well, this time I know it, so... Makes it a lot easier. Because it is his wristwatch. I just need the letter A. Alright, the letter C. Now we just need an H. And there we go.
Now I understand.
This was an easy one.
I've got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night,
Yeah, we know. He looked at his watch at 10
so
o'clock.
if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Yeah, that is true.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body. That's totally true! We're all in the clear!
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up!
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how.
Right. Yeah, this is all pretty confusing. Because everyone seems to have an alibi, except for, well, Hiro and Kyoko. I really don't think it's Kyoko, because she really wants to solve this. Unless she wants to solve this in a way that would not make her guilty, of course. And Hiro, I just can't see him killing anyone, really. At least not yet. Because he was stuck in a robot suit.
I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said...
Ugh, another flashback.
His body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another... ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
I mean, we did find the body at the exact same time as the other, as Taka's. Which could mean that the announcement was actually Taka's announcement and not. Because the announcement did... The announcement played twice. After we also found the bodies together.
That it isn't possible.
The idea that Hifumi was still alive. It did cross my mind actually. I think I did told you guys that. With like the blood bags in the nurse's office. Alright, I think this is going to be another flashback.
When we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive.
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Oh.
Shoot!
Alright, okay, do the wrong conclusion there, but I think it has something to do with that.
Are you saying that when we first found him, there's a chance he was actually still...
No, it is
God damn it.
impossible.
Alright.
Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body.
Hifumi's dead body had been found, and that
So that's the announcement that I need to
The
get.
announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
I thought it might like someone else discover, you know, the thing, but
Are you
I guess
saying
not.
that when we first found Hifumi, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, Hifumi was dead, and you know that. How?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Shoot!
Also not it?
Are you saying that when we first found, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible.
Hifumi was dead.
Without
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery.
Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was...
Are we really?
Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Also not.
Shoot!
Wait, hold
Are
on.
you saying that
What?
when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
Still alive.
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Can I...
Are you saying that when we first found there's a chance he was
Hold on, I want to
actually
just
still
take
alive?
this.
No. Hifumi was dead,
Then
and
skip
you know that.
forward
Surely
for
you
a
heard the
while.
body. Hifumi's dead, and that is... Are we real? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal
And
someone
does
else's
that 12
discovery.
bullets stay with me?
Are you saying
It does,
that when we
okay.
first found Hifumi in the nurse's
And I just want to
office,
get rid of this one.
there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that
Shortly, you heard the body discovery announcement. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we real? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
I mean, my other guess is that I have to
There's a chance he was actually.
take Celeste's
Hifumi was
statement.
dead, and you know that
Shortly, you heard the body discovery announcement. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that
is why. Are we real? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance he was actually
What's going on? No, huh? What happened there?
Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that
Shortly, you heard the body. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement.
Are we real? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
Okay, huh?
Shoot! Are you saying that when we first there's a chance he...
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Shortly, you heard the body. Hifumi's dead, and that is. Are we real? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first
I actually don't
found
understand.
Hifumi
What
in
the
the
fuck?
nurse's office, there's
Is it a
chance
Pokemon
he
which
was
understand what
actually
this-
still alive?
No, it is impossible.
Possible.
Hifumi was dead, and you know that.
Shortly, you heard the body discovery announcement. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement.
Are we really so sure? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
What the fuck is it?
Shoot!
Do I have multiple bullets? Am I missing a thing? Wait, why would I get the votes?
Is this really... I refuse to give up yet!
Why would I be the one that gets the votes? Like, we're still suspecting of Hero, right? That doesn't make no sense. Alright, I'm going to finish this argument. No, I get... Huh?
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No,
It is. Hifumi was dead, and you know that.
shortly you heard the body. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
What the actual fuck is this?
Shoot! Are you saying that when we first found him, there's a chance he was...
No,
It is impossible. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Shortly, you heard the body. Hifumi's dead, and that is.
Are we real? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Shoot! Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi,
What
there's
if
a
I...
chance he was actually still alive?
I have thrown every argument to every... what am I missing?
Shoot! Are you saying that when we first found there's a chance
I actually don't
he was
understand.
no.
It is. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Shortly,
You heard the body. Hifumi's dead body had been found, and that is why the announcement was.
Are we real?
Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is
Damn you,
impossible.
bitch.
Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Shortly, you heard the body.
Hifumi's dead body had been found, and that
Is why the. Are we real? Maybe
I
the
actually
announcement
don't
was
understand
intended to
this. Like,
signal
what the
someone
fuck?
else's-
Are you saying that when we first found there's a chance he was actually still alive? Shoot! Are you saying that when we first there's a chance he...
No.
I only have this truth bullet. I already thrown that argument towards those two.
Are we
Really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance he was actually still alive?
I actually don't fucking know what's going on.
Shoot!
I have thrown every argument at every... Well, I'm going to end this episode here. I'm going to think it over like a bit later, but holy, I don't understand this. I think I know what they're trying to say, but somehow I'm not connecting the arguments right. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.